You follow all the right financial habits. You earn, you save, you avoid obvious mistakes. And yet, over time, your wealth barely seems to move in proportion to your effort. My name is Jack, and I've spent over 10 years helping people navigate financial decisions. And one of the most overlooked patterns is a silent force that steadily reduces wealth potential without triggering any immediate concern. This silent wealth killer does not look like a bad decision. It looks like normal life, gradually becoming more expensive in ways that feel justified, controlled, and even responsible. It begins with small adjustments that align with income growth, slightly better living conditions, improved convenience, and subtle upgrades that do not feel excessive on their own, but collectively reshape the financial structure over time. Psychologically, this happens because the human brain seeks equilibrium, and once a certain level of income is reached, attention shifts away from maximizing surplus toward maintaining comfort and reducing friction in daily life. The focus moves from building wealth to sustaining a lifestyle, and this shift is quiet enough that it rarely feels like a trade-off, even though it fundamentally changes long-term outcomes. When we break this down mathematically, the effect becomes more visible because wealth accumulation is not driven by income alone, but by the proportion of income that remains consistently invested and allowed to compound. If income increases by 20%, but expenses rise by 15%, the actual increase in investable surplus is minimal, and over long periods, this difference compounds into a significant gap in total wealth. The problem is not that money is being wasted, but that it is being redirected into consumption patterns that scale alongside income, which reduces the rate at which capital can accumulate. This creates a system where effort and earnings grow, but the compounding engine remains constrained, resulting in a situation where financial progress feels active, but is structurally limited. On a broader level, modern economic systems reinforce this pattern by offering increasingly convenient ways to spend, automate, and upgrade, which lowers the friction of consumption while requiring deliberate effort to increase savings and investment rates. The system is designed to make spending feel natural and growth feel optional, which quietly shifts behavior in a predictable direction. Over time, identity begins to align with this structure, where financial responsibility becomes associated with stability and consistency rather than expansion and optimization. This makes it less likely for individuals to question whether their financial system is actually producing long-term growth, because everything appears to be functioning correctly on the surface. The key insight is that the most significant wealth limitations are rarely caused by obvious mistakes, but by gradual adjustments that feel reasonable at every step, because these adjustments compound just as powerfully as investments do, only in the opposite direction. And when viewed from this perspective, the real challenge is not avoiding bad financial decisions, but recognizing the quiet systems that make average outcomes feel like progress, while steadily limiting what is actually possible.